Hello everyone, myself Nirupama Rajivan. I welcome you all on behalf of SP&IR digital team, and here we are again with another episode of Crack IT, all about campus placements. So today we have among us a coding geek, a computer enthusiast. So without any further ado, let's welcome our today's guest, Master Amit Sarje, who is a final year student from computer branch. Hi Amit, hope you're doing well.
Yeah, I'm doing well. How are you doing?
Yeah, I'm good. And first of all, heartiest congratulations to you for your placement at Cognizant.
Thanks a lot.
Yeah. So, Amit, would you like to introduce yourself to our viewers?
Yeah, so myself, Amit Sarje. I'm currently a final year student, as you mentioned. And I'm more into full stack web development, I'd say, and like cloud services.
Yeah, that's great. So, starting from the first year, what are the technical and non-technical skills that you have developed over these years?
Yeah, so when I was in my first year, we had a subject called FPL, Fundamental Programming Language, which was focused upon the basic C and C++. So I guess that would add into my skills. And from second year, I started to learn about Python. Python is more applicable in terms of because we have applications in machine learning, in web development also. And there are many more areas. There's just a few applications. So I learned Python and I was more into the web development from the start because in 11, 12 also we had an IT subject, which was focused upon the HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. So I wanted to discover the web technologies. So I came across a few technologies like Django or the basic JavaScript, the React JavaScript, which is a JavaScript library. So I wanted to learn about how those libraries work or how this framework works and how can we develop the full stack web application out of it. So I think I got more into that and I kept on learning. So those were the skills.
I mean, that's really impressive. But how did you find time to learn so many frameworks and technologies? And how do you manage to get knowledge about the latest technology trends along with keeping up with the academics?
Yeah, we had a lot of time, first of all, because we were in pandemic. We were working from home, not working, like the studying from home only. So the time part would add there. We had a lot of time. So I had a lot of time to discover the various frameworks. So that's the main thing. And answering to your second question, if you are learning learning a new technology, there is a good resource available on internet, right? So you just have to find the best resources and to keep up the latest trend. You should be into that technology. Like I'm into web development. I should know like if I have to build a particular product, what are the current technologies that are more efficient than the previous one. First, make sure your sources are very powerful. Then you can learn the latest trends and also keep yourself updated about the latest trends.
Right, absolutely. Okay, so now talking about your placement at Cognizant, would you like to tell the audience about how you applied for Cognizant and what are the roles that they're offering?
Yeah, so I applied to Cognizant through Superset. Superset is a portal for jobs for the campus placements. I applied through Superset. I think they were offering the three positions: GenC Next, GenC, and GenC Elevate. There's also one position GenC Pro, but I'll explain that later. So GenC Next is a profile which was given to the for the like people who are more into the coding. They had various profiles for the GenC Next, like advanced Python developer, advanced Java developer, .NET developer, or the data scientist role. So we had an option to choose like which position you want to apply. That was the GenC Next profile, and GenC and GenC Elevate was a little lower profile, which was not more into the coding, but who just know the basic knowledge of coding. Those people could apply to the GenC Elevate or the GenC role. Yeah, so I had applied for the GenC Next profile.
So that's great. And so how many rounds were there in the interview process at Cognizant?
Talking about the overall process, there was first the coding round. I think Cognizant didn't have any aptitude round. They totally focused upon the coding part as far as the GenC profile is concerned. So the coding round focused upon the multiple questions and the coding challenge problem. Multiple choice questions were upon your computer science fundamentals and your coding analysis. And then there were coding challenges, I guess. The last two questions were upon data structures and algorithms, and the first two questions were upon the basic logical questions. That was the coding round, and after that, I guess we had one technical round and one HR round. That was the whole process.
Okay, so like how were the technical and HR rounds? Like what type of questions were asked and how was your experience?
Yeah, so technical round differed for different people. The people who had applied for advanced Python developer will be definitely only asked the Python questions. People who had applied for Java developer will be asked the Java specific questions. So I had applied for advanced Python developer. So the interview started with the like what are my current projects that I've mentioned in my resume. The interview started with that, like how did I apply the Python to complete those projects. Then again, there were the SQL questions also. And then I guess there were 2 or 3 managerial round questions in the interview. So the whole interview focused upon my current skills, the job specific questions, like I had applied for advanced Python developer, so Python specific questions, a little database specific questions, and managerial questions. So
Okay.
that was the technical round.
Yeah. Okay, so any difficult or tricky questions that were asked in the interview? And if yes, how did you tackle those?
Yeah, I was asked like very different question. It was not a technical question. Technical questions were very simple. I had to implement simple queries or database queries. I had to explain to the interviewer. And one tricky question she asked was, how would you calculate the number of crows in your area? Like, can you tell me the exact number of crows in your area? And I was like, how can I tell? So she just wanted to know how I approached the problem. So I think I answered that question like whatever I came to mind. I first started like I'll do like machine learning analysis, like in which part of the city there is a possibility of crows, and like what is the number per area. Like if I could get that, like a particular number of crows per area, and I have the possibility of crows, I can get the area where there is a possibility of crows and the crows per that area. Then I can calculate that. I think she was a little satisfied with that. So that was a tricky question, I'd say.
Okay, that's great. Now that you're placed at Cognizant and you have already started interning there, so how's your experience so far?
So my date of joining was 31st Jan. So I've recently it's been only few days. So right now we don't have any technical things to do. They're just focusing upon like the basic how an employee should behave in Cognizant, how should he behave in campus or like working from home, and what should be the moral of ethics working as an employee. So currently that things are being focused right now.
Okay, great. So, do you have any tips or suggestions that one must remember before appearing for an interview?
Yeah, your resume is your syllabus, right? Make sure that you go through whole resume and make sure you have your resume matters in an before the interview. So make sure the things you're mentioning you prepare it well because your resume is syllabus. Interviewers gonna know you through your resume. Don't mention things that you don't know. Don't fake the things in resume, I'd say. And suppose you mention a particular skill, make sure to go through the whole concept, because even if you are good at that particular skill, you might not remember like few basic concepts and you might get stuck over there. So make sure go through your resume and be confident. I'd say interview is gonna help you. Like even if you get stuck somewhere, interview is gonna help you. Go through that mindset. Don't think like even if I didn't answer one question, it would be the whole interview would be bad. Even if I had answered one question, wrong question, it doesn't matter. If you can still get along with the next question.
Right. So, which means resume is the first and foremost thing that you should keep in mind because that is how you will be judged from the interviewer point of view, right?
Yeah, that's how we'll be judged. And the things you mentioned, like how you're gonna approach like every question, that will also matter. I said I talked about the technical part of the things, but the interviewer might ask managerial questions also.
Right.
So like you should have that intuition, like why the interviewer is asking this question and what the interviewer should expect the answer from me. So if you know that, you can definitely answer the question.
So, what are your go-to platforms when it comes to placements and interview preparation?
Yeah, for the go-to platforms, I'd say if it is a technical round, if it is a technical position I'm applying to, I'd first go through like the Geek for Geeks is there, where I could practice the problems to solve. And as far as interview is concerned, there are a lot of interview experience available online, using which you can get like for particular profile which were the questions asked previously, and what you need to work upon, the things like that you don't that the current skill that you don't have. just get that.
Okay. So now talking about your projects, could you please throw some light on what different projects you have made so far?
Yeah, as I mentioned, I'm more into the web development. So I've developed the web application mostly. One of them would be like a student management system where I developed like where the teacher could manage the student's data, his achievements, or the attendances. That project I've worked upon. Then there was also another project which was called OptiBuilds, where with like suppose there are non-technical users who want to build the PC and they don't know exactly what are the technical aspects of it. So we've created a project where he could just enter the price and select the domain, like the gaming, anything. Then we'll give a perfect build or the optimum build. That was the one project. And all the projects were built upon the Django stack and the front-end technologies like HTML, CSS, and React. So
Okay.
those were my, yeah.
Okay, interesting. So, have you completed any certification courses? And do you think it is necessary that one must do courses? And if yes, how much value does it add to the resume?
Yeah, so certification is something like if you have particular skill, certification is a proof of that you have that skill, right?
Yeah.
So even if you, I haven't done any particular certification courses to be honest, but if you have, if you can prove the skills that you have, that matters, right? Certification is a, I think one aspect like to prove the skill. If you have done projects on that skill, you can also prove that even if you don't have certificate. So I think that matters, like how you prove the skills, maybe through the certification exams or the projects or the internship that you've done upon that skill.
Right, which means certification is not mandatory aspect in a resume, right?
Yeah.
So, Amit, did you do any internships, technical or non-technical?
Yeah, I did a full stack developer internship in a fintech startup company where I used my skills to develop the option and future strategies. I think those are the stock market related terms. For each stock market, there is a fundamental analysis, right? For that fundamental analysis, there are few the charts have to be developed for different strategies. So managing the backend operations for that charts and scheduling algorithms for that. So for each day there will be a new data set for this and new charts will be rendered. So that's how the internship was. I developed the whole thing in Python, I guess, and I also worked upon the front end technology over there. I used the JavaScript mostly.
Okay, right. So, like, how did you apply for these internships? Like, where did you go for, where did you search for these internships? How did you get it to these internships?
I got this internship, I guess, through Internshala. Internshala is one of the platforms where you could get an internship. I was in my second year, so I guess there were not many off-campus opportunities. Yeah, so I applied through Internshala through a specific skill that I have, and I got the opportunity to
Great.
intern with that company.
Yeah. So, how does doing internships help someone from a placement point of view?
Yeah, if you do internships, you'd relate to the industry standards, right? Because currently the whatever you worked upon will be the projects and whatever you've done in your college. You don't know how the industry works or what are the standards that should be kept in the industry. So I'll tell my experience. I was not interning before, so I had knowledge of a few tech stacks. But when I got into internship, I got to know about like how the continuous deployment is done, what are the new trends that happens in the industry in terms of technology, and so that's the thing, like you get to know how the industry works in that particular area.
Yeah, so which means in this internships always helps to get hands-on experience and to get industrial knowledge, right?
Yes, how the industry works and how what are the tech stack that's being used there.
Yeah. Okay, so talking about the co-curricular activities, Amit, you are also the training and placement executive for our college. So
Yes.
what were your roles and how was your experience?
Yeah, so like the whole idea of training and placement executive, it's the bridge between the students and the companies, right? We should clarify the company's hiring process and what is the criteria to apply for and how their data should be managed, which students are eligible or which students are not eligible. How can we prepare the students for the future companies? So we are just the bridge between them. So I worked upon the roles in between that.
Okay.
So yeah.
Yeah, great. So Amit, how was your college life and your journey at RSCOE?
Well, my college life, I guess, was my home life actually. We didn't have any we didn't have the chance to go to campus and have the actual college life, because when I think I was in my second year, till that only I guess we had the college life. After that, it was all online mode. But still there were online lectures and there are a lot of activities that college conducted for us through online mode. I think there were like gaming rounds and all that. So I guess our college managed to do that, like to keep the environment, to keep the college environment. So my college experience has been very good. Yeah, we adapted to the online things. That's the great part. Like we got to learn, like if there's something pandemic happens, then we can adapt to new things also, and how to manage the new obstacles, I think.
Right. So, heading on to the last question for the day, what message or suggestion would you like to give to your juniors?
Yeah, okay. So from the first year, if you're from an IT background, try to solve as many as questions possible on the data structures and algorithms. If you're preparing from the placement point of view, and if you're going abroad, I guess, or if you have the plans to do the further education, try to focus upon the projects or the gate exams from the first year, because when you start early, you have like more time to do that. That's for the technical part, and I'd say be solution oriented to every problem. So you should be consistent throughout the years. Make sure you solve all the. Make sure you prepare for the each and every. Make sure you have the knowledge of strategies to prepare for each and every company. Even if you are not placed, try to still focus upon your skills, because in future there will be a lot of opportunities. Even if you are not placed in companies, there will be a lot of opportunities in future. Don't get depressed. Yeah, that's the thing I would say.
Yeah, thank you so much for your message. It was really inspiring. And thanks a lot for connecting with us and sparing your time. I hope this video is really helpful for all those who are watching. And thank you so much, Amit. It was great talking to you. And we wish you all the best for all your future endeavors.
Yeah, thanks a lot. Thanks. It was a great experience for me also.
Yeah, thank you so much.